blinds will be up in, I think it's about 8 minutes. Does that sound right? I think so. Can't actually see right now. There it is. So it's 10. Wow, the ace queen here. Probably go for a defend. Against, well, maybe no one now. That's looking like raise most likely. This guy jams, and if, what's his stack size? 9, 18, 27, 36, and 4. If he jams and 2-pack isolate jammed, I'd probably call. Pretty good spot now. Ooh. Put down an ace one time. Gotta win the big flips. Gotta win the big flips. Down to M2. Probably just jam this if it folds around. It's looking like a 1k payday. I was starting to think it might be a 100k payday. So just build this up 1M at a time. 1827, M3. I'm probably going to jam on 2-pack and for Viana. This would be a tough spot if this guy jammed. It's raised in 1 of 15. Makes it a bit easier. M3, ace-9 suited. This guy could be ISOing a little wide too. And he was. We managed to hang on that time. That was a nice hold. And a pretty reasonable isolation too. So it's a bit of a seesaw at the moment, bit of a roller coaster. We could have had we could have 2 mil ball, but well, at least we're still in with M7. Tell you what though, 2 mil would have been pretty sweet about now. $2 mil, average is 1 mil, twice average. Pretty good table overall, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good table. We've got the aggressive players on our right. A couple of weaker guys on our left. Interesting what Ifiana might do this with here. I think he can do it with a little bit of a wide range, like ace-10s and stuff. Just thinking, what would I do if I was him with ace-10? You know, 2-pack's opening a fair bit. You get pretty good. You can call off anyway if the short stack's behind jam. Ace-10 suited, ace-jack off. Yeah, ace-10 suited, ace-10 off. I might fold, I guess. It'd be pretty close. I think I will jam this one on 2-pack again, but it's pretty close. M is 6-ish. Ace-6 suited. Yeah, this is very close. I think very, very close. hijack, but I just think he's just opening with such a high frequency. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, I think we have to go for it. Or do we? A6. It's kind of right on A6 suited. He's opening a lot. Yeah, I think we... Well, do we? Yeah, I think we do. It's just opening a little bit too much. We'll be dominated by Ace-8 and stuff a bit though, which is a bit annoying. But he will also fold quite a bit. I think if he's got Ace-8, he's probably going to call. Because we're so short. Any suited ace, probably any ace off as well, maybe. M7 here, right? Just thinking what I would have done if it had folded to me. I probably would have just shoved, because Jack 9's got a pretty high PN. And if Fiona had opened, wow, that would have been close. He hasn't been doing much, but I know that he normally steals a lot. I probably actually would have jammed it on him, I think. Probably have to call this guy. And if he jammed and Jenny Doom ISO'd, I mean... 11M, 5.5. I mean, we're pretty short and we can be in good shape in that situation. This is obviously the best spot, I guess. 2-pack doing his normal thing. Let's check. I think if Jenny Doom jams, we can't quite fold. I think. Yeah, I don't think we would have been able to. I think 2-pack might be getting a little bit sick of this. Maybe a king here. There it is. Called it. Put the mouse there and said king here. Yeah, I think if Jenny Doom had a shove there, I don't think we're going to fold, because we could actually have the best hand sometime. Jenny Doom might jam like a king 10, king jack, jack queen, especially if they're suited. And a lot of hands like ace 7 and stuff, ace 10, that we have with good equity against, especially when you're considering all the dead money that's already out there with chip-axe raise. And we don't want to necessarily presume that 2-pack is got a hand. So I probably would have gone for it. And she can have stuff like 5s in that spot as well, where we're flipping. And since we're so short, I mean, it's fine. I'm going to make it 109 here. And it's just because we get good leverage against get win, and he hasn't played a hand yet. Now I've said that, he's probably going to shove. He went for the old tank fold. So it's kind of interesting what just happened there. We actually just lost 2-pack and got the weakest. And I'm not really sure actually that I was that bothered by 2-pack. I guess I was a bit, because he's opening a lot. It kind of makes it a little bit hard for us to open if he's always opening. But at the same time, we get a lot of opportunities to 3-bet him and pick up chips that way, which is what we'd been doing since we're to his left. And well, I mean, kind of across the table, but it felt like we were to his left since he was opening so much. Ooh. Who are we going for here? Not sure. Wow. Interesting spot. Guys raise first in. Oh, he folds. I think I'm just going to jam. He's open here. 13, 5 only 1 divided by 13. And 4.4 for Jenny Doom. I think I'm going to re-ISO here. Thing is that, wow, Jenny's been slightly tight, but there's just so much dead money out there. She's only M4.4, so she's probably going to jam let's just think about this. I think I'm going to fold here. Wow. 801 divided by 132. 6. Yeah, I think I'm going to fold. I think that she's going to jam against the button steal, even if she's kind of tight. Any ace and any pair. And I would think 10 jack suited and suited broadways, and let's just say a tight range like this. So if we give Jenny Doom a tight range and say that we have ace 8 off, yeah, I mean, we're 47%, and there was just a ton of dead money out there. I think that if I saw this, I would probably jam. I mean, it's a little bit playing with variance a little bit, but I mean, we're not so deep that we can sit around. We only have M10, and we can still have M6 if she gets us, which she did obviously, but I mean, you know, there was so much dead money out there. If we take a little peek at it. Now, presuming Fifiana's folding like he has a tight range, and we were going to jam him anyway, so we actually got lucky that Jenny had a hand, because we would have busted. Well, actually, we hit an 8, and he didn't have a heart, so I think maybe we would have got him. 13. Jenny Doom M10. Raise first in Jenny Doom. 6 of 42 is tight. You're in the hijack, you're probably opening a little bit looser in the hijack. What do we do with 5s? I think we're going to have to jam anyway, even though Jenny seems kind of tight. Now it's an easier jam. But yeah, just going back to this hand. So it's 540 to win 833. I mean, that's huge. 540 to win 833. Managed to hold again there, that's good. 540 to win, what did I say it was? 833, so plus 833. 540, put that in the memory. Memory read. So we only need this percentage, 39. If we have this range correct. But I just cannot imagine her folding tighter than this. I mean, that would be way too nitty. With her stack size M4 against the button steal, I mean, I'd like to include this stuff here, you know, King 8, 9 and Queen 9 suited and stuff, and King 9, 10 jack off, but let's just leave it tight. So even if we put on a pretty tight range, we have 47% equity, we only need 39, so we have a 7% buffer. I just think that's too big to fold. The EV for the hand is a little bit too great, especially since it doesn't risk our whole stack, and we do need to stay active about getting chips. This is probably, although it might be, quite a positive EV play, there's still the chance that the button has a hand as well, which he did, but at the same time, we were going to jam them anyway, so that probably deducts from it a little bit, because sometimes he might have a hand that crushes us, but it's not going to be. I think when you consider he steals 50% of hands, he's not going to have sort of a top, 6-7%. Like, he's not going to have a top 7% hand often enough. Like, 5. His hands here is, well, he's probably calling with that. He folded ace-10 suited, so he's probably folding. He's probably calling with this range here, I'd imagine. It's only like 6.8% of hands, so it's not going to happen too often. And we still have a little bit of equity, obviously. I can win a massive pot. So, yeah, I think the play was good. I'm happy we made it. Because we didn't have a lot of time with the time bank, and it was kind of a bit of a tough spot, because Jenny Doom's been kind of tight. But this was short. It was just a button steal. We did have M10. So, I think it's good at this stage too, because I'm a little bit tired. I think it's good to be like looking and sort of thinking ahead of time if we can, So I was kind of sort of thinking, what are we going to do here? But I could have been a little bit more prepared, but we just have to keep our eyes open for scenarios so we can make good decisions fast, because we don't want to make any mistakes at this point. Interesting that Fiana got away with his 3-bet there. Wow. What are we going to do here? It's kind of an awkward spot, isn't it? Turn. If we 3-bet to 289, how often is he going to re-click here? Probably never. He probably knows he's pretty tired. I think I'm going to go for it. 278, 192. I think it looks quite strong, that 3-bet, because get win is so short, and we are actually committed to get win. So Fiana should know that we don't have an airball. We have the sort of hand we have at the sort of the weakest part of our range. There is going to be probably like ace, excuse me, ace-5 suited. Jack Queen off is actually probably at the complete bottom of our range there for 3-betting, because I don't want to 3-bet and have to call off get win if he jams with like King 4. So I would want a hand that has equity, which Jack Queen you would hope will have, although not great equity because he's been very tight, and against the 3-bet he's going to be super tight, but we just wouldn't be able to fold. We'd be getting crazy pot odds, since we almost put in half his stack as a 3-bet. And that's part of the reason why that 3-bet I think looked quite strong, and I think that Fiana probably knows that get win and Jenny are tight, and that crazy next is not defending blinds and actually seems quite tight as well. And that's why I think the sizing as well was quite good from us, because we didn't need to raise big. And at M12, the leverage was fairly considerable, so it put him in a pretty tough spot where it's awkward for him to 4-bet at that effective stack size. And at the same time, if he just flats, he's out of position in a bloated pot, and is just likely, I think, going to fold. He probably just had ace deuce or whatever. King 8. But we'll go for this one. It's a little bit risky because we can get 3-bet here by these blind players at M10. Quite vulnerable. And I think I'm just going to c-bet. Kind of small here. We are still in that pay bump bubble, so to speak. So we might get some tight folds. Get win, we wouldn't be able to fold to there if he jams, but this guy will give us a bit of a situation if he jams. It's 96, 176, 176, 176, and he's been tight. M4.5 though. M4.5 and he's been tight. Oh, the weakest flats. We know nothing about the weakest. Do we know anything about the weakest? PPIP. A little bit looser in the button. We've got a king jack there, I think sometimes, or like pocket sevens. Didn't want to 3-bet and get it in, but I think it's important. I mean, yeah, I just don't think checking is that wise. Ace 10 is a small risk. Could have ace 10 suited, especially. Even ace 10 off, I guess, but. Well, Fiona, I would have 3-bet Fiona, but. And I'd probably fold the Jenny. Just because it seems like she's been tight. It's a pretty tight fold, ace 4 suited against an M7 small blind shove, I think. I wouldn't fold it against a reg. Well, never ever, I guess. But I would fold it against Jenny, I think, because she appears to be trying to like stall to get to the next pay level, timing out every hand. So which is fun. If you're trying to build a roll, she wants to make sure she gets the extra. Like we said, it's fairly considerable, an extra 1200. So can't fault her for that. I think we have to jam on get win here with King 2 because it has a PN of 7 and he's only M4, and I think he's just folding way too much. So, if he wakes up with something, then we just have to hit a king or a whole bunch of 2s. But he seems to be playing tight as well. I mean, he hasn't actually opened. Actually, he's even played a hand. He's played 2 hands in 36, and he hasn't raised yet. So, in she goes. And I mean, he's just folding so often here. Well, he decided to go for it, so it was always going to be close. And I think he kind of has got a little bit sick of us, kind of 3-bet him a few times now. But I actually thought that might work to our favour, where he was like, wow, I mean, is he really going to 3-bet me again? He's probably got the hand this time, sort of thing. And it was a very similar to the situation before where we did obviously commit to get win, which made it, I think, kind of look stronger, but get win is so short now that, yeah. I think Efiana could have a little bit of a range there, but, and it was pretty borderline because, I mean, he has folded a couple of times and we have 3-bet him a bit. You know, he gave us a walk the last round, so last time we were big blind and that sort of thing, so I think he's a little bit aware that we might 3-bet him a bit. It was certainly a very close spot. And we could have the best hand some of the time, but I just don't think I really want to call off there. At, prefer to preserve the M12 stack, I think, rather than call off. He could have all the bigger pairs. He probably deals with that with Ace-9 suited up and maybe Ace-9 off up. Ace-9, yeah, Ace-8 suited up, Ace-9-ish up. King Jacks, King Queens, maybe Jack Queen suited. I think. When he started tanking, I thought he was first. I got this feeling like he was going to fold, and then as it went, time bank went down a bit, and I'm like, oh, For some reason, I just started thinking now he's going to jam. If we were sort of M80ish, I might have just actually just shoved right in. Obviously. Because he still has, you know, as much as I said it looked like he gave us a couple of walks and was a bit aware of us 3-betting, he's certainly, by all means, not going to shut down. I mean, he's still going to stay active. He's just an active player. That's his style. So he's an aggressive, fairly aggressive player, as you should be. And it's a pity that he did jam and we had to fold, because I would have kind of liked our image, you know. I would really have liked our image there. Yeah, if he had folded again, I think he would have felt a bit owned. And may have shut down a bit more. And thought, damn, ace is up. But now he's sort of got that one back on us. Sort of squared up with us there, with that one. And the other thing, if he folds too, is that we've got a pretty good image to get value, you know, if we then wake up with a ace-queen and 3-bet him again, you know. I think by that stage should be really kind of had enough, and we can get value. You know, we still can, but we still look like we're 3-betting a lot, but I just think when a player hasn't 4-bet or done anything yet, they might kind of think, well, I just can't let him get away with this anymore. Whereas if we wake up with a hand now and 3-bet him, he might be like, well, he knows I 4-bet last time and I'm capable of 4-betting, so I can, maybe, I did get him last time, maybe I'll wait again, but it's kind of a bit of a metagame style, isn't it? Interesting, 2 packs back on our left. And this guy over here who... I don't actually recognise his name, but I think he's just a pretty solid, decent player. But time will tell. But we do have 300 hands on him. He's got pretty standard stats, although he does seem a little bit tight overall. Be right back, guys.